It's 1 a.m. Mia is lying in bed, phone glowing in the dark. Her shopping cart has $180 in it. She looks at it and genuinely doesn't remember choosing most of it. Not one item feels like something she actually needs. This isn't a story about Mia being careless with money. Something else was happening in her brain tonight, and it has almost nothing to do with willpower. I'm Kellan from Wealth Foundation. Let's rewind and find out exactly what led Mia here. Let's go. Let's rewind to Mia's week. Monday, she filled up her car and the total made her stomach drop. Wednesday, a news alert about interest rates possibly rising again. Friday, her landlord mentioned a rent increase might be coming next renewal. By Sunday night, her phone had shown her a dozen headlines about the economy, none of them reassuring. None of these things were catastrophic on their own. But stacked together, across 1 week, they left her feeling like something was slipping out of her control. And that feeling, the sense that things are uncertain and out of your hands, is exactly the feeling that sets off what happened next. So that night, unable to sleep, Mia opened a shopping app. Not because she needed anything, because for a few minutes, scrolling and adding things to her cart felt like doing something. Item by item, her cart filled up. Each tap gave her a tiny, genuine hit of relief, a small decision she could actually make in a week that had felt like nothing was in her control. And then, the moment we saw at the very start, $180 in the cart. And a strange, empty feeling where the relief was supposed to stay. What Mia experienced has an actual name. Psychologists and financial researchers call it doom spending, making purchases in direct response to anxiety about the future, even while knowing it doesn't really help. And it's remarkably common. Around 72% of people admit to spending money based on feelings of doom or anxiety about the future at some point. Mia isn't unusual. She's actually the majority. Here's what's actually happening in your brain when this occurs. Making a purchase, any purchase, releases dopamine. It's a genuinely real, genuinely pleasurable chemical response. Not imagined, not weakness. There's something else going on too. In moments where the world feels uncertain and out of your hands, making a purchase is a decision you can control. Choosing, clicking, deciding, it hands you back a small sense of power. So when Mia opened that app at 1 a.m., her brain wasn't malfunctioning. It was doing exactly what brains under stress are wired to do. And this isn't a small trend. Financial therapists report a 43% increase in clients specifically mentioning doom spending this year compared to last year. It's rising fast. Here in Australia, 89% of people feel the same or more stressed about their finances than last year. And more than 9.7 million Australians, 44%, started this year already in debt. Here's the part that genuinely surprised researchers. The group whose financial anxiety rose the most this year wasn't people already in debt. It was debt-free households. Which tells us something important. This isn't only about your actual numbers. Uncertainty itself is the trigger. You don't need to be struggling financially to feel this. You just need to feel like the future is out of your hands. Here's the catch with that dopamine hit. It's real, but it's short. Within minutes to hours, it fades. And the original worry that triggered it is usually still exactly where you left it. Worse, if that spending goes on a credit card or buy now, pay later, it can compound directly into the exact debt cycle we covered in our very first video on this channel. So the very thing that felt like taking back control in the moment can end up taking away even more of it later. So, how do you actually interrupt this pattern? 5 genuinely practical things. 1. Build in a mandatory pause before non-essential purchases, even 24 hours. The urge is almost always strongest in the first few minutes after a stressful headline. 2. Turn off one-click checkout and shopping app notifications. Removing ease of access matters more than most people expect. 3. Actually budget a small, guilt-free treat allowance. Counterintuitively, giving yourself permission for small, planned spending reduces the urge to spend impulsively beyond it. 4. Find a non-spending way to regain a sense of control in anxious moments. A short walk, calling someone, writing the specific worry down. Address the real need directly. And 5. Simply name it when it happens. This is doom spending, not a real need. Just noticing the pattern out loud measurably makes you less likely to follow through. A few weeks later, Mia had another rough week. Another stack of worrying headlines, same familiar urge, late at night, phone in hand. This time, she caught herself. This is doom spending. She put the phone on the nightstand and got up for a glass of water instead. Her cart the next morning? Empty. And her bank balance a lot less confused than she used to feel. If any part of Mia's story felt familiar, you're not careless and you're not alone. Your brain is just doing what brains under stress do. Now you know how to work with it, not against it. If this helped, subscribe. Every Monday, Kellan breaks down what's actually happening with your money, in plain English. I'm Kellan. Take care of your money, because nobody else will.